a very interesting euphoric energy source without being too much stimulant. As you guys remember, like last year, I was taking products that are over 700 milligrams of caffeine. At one point, I've admittedly taken 1,400 milligrams of caffeine. I know what it's like to take very high stimulant products, and I'm now really enjoying taking very simple products, and this is one that I think that a lot of people could enjoy.
Welcome to PricePlow.
What is up, guys? If you're watching this right now, you're probably quarantined in your house from the coronavirus, so I figured I'd bring you some healthy, uplifting content about an incredible company called Beam. Be Amazing. Their new pre-workout, I got it here in watermelon candy. If you guys watched the podcast that I did with their owner, Mike Yewdell, if you didn't, you should go watch it right now because it'll probably uplift your spirits about the world and all the good things that are actually going on in it. But awesome message from the company. The products that are coming out are pretty unique, I would say. And the pre-workout, I talked to them a little bit about what they thought their flagship product was. I thought it was the vegan protein because the vegan protein is just incredible. And a lot of people are kind of touting that as the most incredible product they have come out with. But they believe it's the pre-workout. And I mean, I can understand why. It's a very interesting product, which I'm going to get into the ingredients in a little bit. But I like that it does a couple things. It takes a few traditional routes with the ingredients, but it also breaks the box a little bit, things outside of the box a little bit. There's no new ingredients to market here, but there are a couple different things here that we haven't seen in other products. So we're gonna jump right in and let you guys know what we think about it. So product opens up with a couple just traditional, tried and true ingredients that, you know, I'm not saying that they're wrong. I love all these ingredients, but there's nothing crazy about these here, and I'm happy about that. 5 grams of citrulline at 2 scoops. I always judge by the full serving size. They have it set up here for 1 or 2 scoops. Mike Yewdell even says in the video that I did with him, he's not a big fan of high stimulant products, so you're gonna see that in here. This product can be, at 1 scoop, can be extremely low stimulant. He doesn't do very well with them. You know, a lot of us do, and that's totally fine. I'm currently trying to take a bit of a stim break, or like lower my stim intake for a while. So this was a nice addition to my products that wasn't non-stim. So at 2 scoops, you're getting 5 grams of citrulline. As I've talked to you guys about before, citrulline is a great ingredient to start off with here. The clinical data is going to be at 3 to 4 grams. There is clinical data all the way up to 12 grams. It shows a lot of great stuff, but most people are going to use around 4 grams. They're a little bit higher at 5 grams. I'm happy with that. I do well with high amounts of citrulline. 5 grams is obviously cost effective for them, but it's also a great dosage. Carnosine beta-alanine coming up here again. Now, carnosine is the patented beta-alanine that has most of the claims on it. They did lose their trademark, I think, or the patent, I forget. There's some sort of legal thing going on right now, but they did lose that. So you aren't, you know, really required to use them right now. So I'm happy that Beam went ahead and actually used that. I'm a big fan of carnosine. I think they do a good job. And they've shown to me that if you are using a knockoff, if you're using a generic beta-alanine, you could possibly have some, you know, difference in quality. So happy to see they went with the patented version here. And you guys have seen me talk about beta-alanine before. Beta-alanine is going to help you, your time to exhaustion, and it's also going to help you just get a couple more extra reps, a couple sets in there. A lot of people will talk about the fact that, you know, the study really was shown to be like once you reach the threshold of like a 1-minute set. But personally, when I take beta-alanine for long amounts of time, then I'm finally loaded with it. It takes about 179 grams of it to load your body. I feel a lot better endurance-wise when I'm training those, you know, 8, 12, 16 rep sets. I feel like I can add on a little bit extra weight, a little bit extra reps, and up the volume for the workout a little bit more. I train a progressive overload style. Every week I want to be putting on a little bit more weight, a little bit more reps. I'm going to be increasing the work just a little bit, and that helps me out a lot there. Nothing crazy, but carnosine beta-alanine, good job. Betaine anhydrous, 3 grams. Now, this is a little bit above the 2.5 gram dosage. Betaine is going to help a lot with power output, hydration, a little bit of pump. Betaine is one of my favorite ingredients to see in a pre-workout. I know it is going to be effective. It's not a wild ingredient, but it is going to work. So playing it safe here so far, but happy with the product. This is something that I would build for myself if I was going to. Taurine at 2 grams. Now 1 gram, there's actually a meta-analysis that I've linked a few times. I'll put it over here as well, that shows just a plethora of just overall athletic benefits, whether it's hydration, pump, endurance. There's a lot of stuff that just increases when you have over a gram. They've got 2 grams here, so I really like taurine. I probably wouldn't go over 2-3 grams, just kind of seemed like a waste to me, but at 2 grams, nice dosage. There are studies at 2 grams that I'm happy about. It could be as low as 1 gram, I'd be happy with it, but at 2 grams here, love it. Now this is where things get a little bit, I don't want to say out of the box, because some of you guys are going to hate on me for saying that the next ingredient's out of the box, but the way that they start dosing these things, I'm a fan of. Tyrosine, normally you see this at 500 milligrams. In fact, normally you see N-acetyl L-tyrosine, which is shown to be less effective, even though the initial studies showed that it was better. When you see that, like a 500 milligram dosage, I'm even more disappointed, but just 500 milligrams of tyrosine is, you know, technically for some people a clinical dosage. There are studies on that, but I like to see over a gram of tyrosine. I've even gone as high as 3 grams, which is a little bit intense on focus for me, but here at 2 grams, that's gonna be some nice focus. You're really getting like above what really most people are using. Nice focus here. It's gonna dial you in for the workout, help that mind-muscle connection, and get you moving. And that's where we kind of get out of the normal things, ingredients-wise. The next one was a very interesting one. I was surprised to see. I'm not always surprised to see this ingredient in general, but in a pre-workout, it's a little bit different. Ksm66 Ashwagandha. Now, if you guys are familiar with our talks about Ksm66 Ashwagandha, we've talked about it from everything from cortisol to stress to testosterone production. There's even strength and power benefits as well. So the strength and power benefits definitely make sense for pre-workout, but it's not often used there. It's usually used in like a testosterone booster or a stress product. The thing about Ksm66 is it can have an acute, like a mild, I don't want to say sedative, but it's a calming effect. So it was interesting to put that in a pre-workout, but thinking back to what Mike told me about what he likes in a pre-workout, and you gotta remember when people are making their own brand, they think about what they would like in a product. It kind of makes sense that they would use this in a pre-workout because you're gonna have stimulants in here, you're gonna balance it out with some of these kinds of ingredients. So, huge fan of Ksm66. I had never used it pre-workout as far as I can remember. I might be wrong. I'm sure someone's gonna reference some video where I did, but I think it's pretty cool, and anecdotally when I used it, it balanced out the stimulants nicely. I'm a higher stim person usually, so because this is a little bit of a lower stim product, the Ksm even brought it down even a little bit more for me, so I almost kind of felt like this was kind of like a stim free. It was just very like baseline, keeps you awake pre-workout. And you'll see when you go into the next ingredient, it's 250 milligrams of caffeine from coffee berry from Futureceuticals. Big fan of Futureceuticals. They create some cool ingredients, and this is another controversial statement, but I find that these natural caffeine sources usually hit a little bit harder for me. I don't want to incite a kind of like appeal to nature fallacy here, but like I think that when you're getting it from a natural source, some of the other natural constituents of that ingredient could possibly help with the absorption and effectiveness of the ingredient. For me, I've seen this, and for a few other people that I've asked, they've said the same thing as well. I don't have any data to back that up. It's just a completely anecdotal feeling, but that's how I feel from it. And I mean, I'm a fan of Futureceuticals outside of a few ingredients that they've come out with. So I kind of believe what they make is good quality stuff, and they have a reason for this. Now they follow that up with cocoa bean here, which is going to have a high concentration of theobroma, which is kind of similar to caffeine. It's a stimulant. It binds to the adenosine receptor and creates a stimulant response. This is very interesting because it's at a 1-to-1 ratio with the caffeine. We don't think we've ever seen this before. It has a really nice effect. This paired with the Ksm66 and another ingredient further down creates a really interesting balance because you have a decent amount of stimulants here between the caffeine and the theobroma, but you also have the Ksm66, and I'm going to skip a couple ingredients and hit the next one for a second here. They also put in 100 milligrams of theanine, which is by far not a lot of theanine. Usually, I don't really like when companies kind of do like a 1-to-1 ratio, so I'm happy that they went with a less, I mean it's less than 2-to-1 caffeine to theanine, plus then you add in the theobroma. The caffeine and theobroma versus the KSM and theanine created a very interesting feeling for me. You have definitely a stimulant there. It's not nothing. It's a little bit less than, well, the caffeine's a little bit less than a can of Bang. When you include the theobroma, it's a little bit more, but overall, it's a very nice balanced pre-workout. This is not something that's going to make you freak out if you take 2 scoops. It's going to be very nice and smooth. Now we finish that off with grapeseed extract, which is what I skipped over. Grapeseed extract is a great source of a lot of different things. We could talk about antioxidants here for a while, but what I really wanted to focus on is the vasodilation from there. I don't personally think that any kind of antioxidant stuff will work peri-workout, and I try not to think about it because you're creating so many free radicals and inflammation that I kind of want those, so I'm kind of ignoring the fact that there's any kind of antioxidant or anti-inflammatory effects there. I want to break down my muscles. I want my muscle to have a metabolic response to the things that I'm doing in the gym, so I'm kind of ignoring that that effect is there and really looking at the fact that grapeseed extract can help with vasodilation at 200 milligrams. So that, I mean, that's a nice addition there, because really the only other pump ingredient would be betaine and citrulline, possibly a little bit of taurine. So this isn't a super heavy pump pre-workout. This is going to be a well-rounded around pump, focus, energy, and just a kind of like just an uplifting, euphoric feel. We finish this off with 2 more ingredients. Estrogen, which is obviously a ingredient from New Live Sciences for absorption. So it's gonna make sure that all these ingredients are being absorbed nicely and utilized well. It's at 50 milligrams here, so it's a great dose for this product. We see estrogen in a lot of products. No surprise here, happy to see it being utilized. But the last ingredient is ironically not bioperin or estrogen. In this case, it's actually resveratrol. They put in 40 milligrams of resveratrol, which is, again, it is full of antioxidants, all that stuff, but that's not what I'm focusing on it for today. Resveratrol can actually modulate nitric oxide production. It's a very expensive ingredient, and I'm not very familiar with the dosages versus claims that you can use. But at 40 milligrams, I had a decent pump off this product. I've seen resveratrol doses as high as 200 milligrams. Knowing where this is manufactured, knowing the people behind the brand, I have to believe that they're using a high yield resveratrol or something that's like higher quality, because I had a good response to this. But overall, resveratrol is going to help with blood flow, and I mean I probably should do more research on resveratrol, but we really don't touch it very much. Overall, the product gave me a great pump, a very interesting euphoric energy source, without being too much stimulant. As you guys remember, like last year, I was taking products that are over 700 milligrams of caffeine. At one point, I've admittedly taken 1,400 milligrams of caffeine before, admittedly, a huge session, squatting over 700 pounds, deadlifting close to 700, and benching in the 400s. So I know what it's like to take very high stimulant products. And I'm now really enjoying taking very simple products, and this is one that I think that a lot of people could enjoy. I am a huge advocate now for people to have kind of an arsenal of pre-workouts, because yeah, some days you're going to feel like you really need a lot more energy, but some days it's really nice to just have a low stim product, go in, enjoy the workout, and not have to deal with a crash, not have to deal with the heart beating out of your chest for a little bit. This is a really nice, enjoyable product. We try not to talk about lifestyle too much, because Ghost has really taken the definition of lifestyle and applied it to guys in skinny jeans and great haircuts and really great looking dudes. This is, I would call, a lifestyle product because a lot of people use it. I kind of have this test, like, would my parents be able to use this product? They would. This is kind of for any person who's just looking for entrance into the fitness realm but want to use a high quality product. So Beam, use coupon code PricePlow for a nice discount. If you're looking for any other news, reviews, and interviews on Beam, run over to priceplow.com/Beam. You'll have all of your information there. And as always, guys, this was sent for free. We do have a business affiliate relationship with Beam, so do understand that. But outside of that, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. We're crossing into almost 14 minutes here, so thanks for guys for watching, and have a great day.
Welcome to PricePlow.